No.
I want to.
This is bull.
He wasn't dealing with a simple misunderstanding. Instead, he found himself watching someone else ask the questions that he probably wanted answered himself. That's never an easy position to be in because instead of feeling supported by your partner, you're left wondering whether you're getting the full truth. At the same time, Ryan wasn't creating the problem. Ryan was simply asking questions that naturally come up when someone's actions leave people confused. Sometimes people don't like being questioned, but if your own behavior creates uncertainty, those questions are almost impossible to avoid. To me, the biggest issue isn't Ryan speaking up. The biggest issue is that Josh keeps finding himself in situations where his trust is being tested. Every healthy relationship depends on trust, and once that trust begins to crack, every disagreement becomes much bigger than it should be. One thing I keep noticing is that Josh appears to spend more time trying to understand Catie's behavior than Catie spends trying to reassure Josh. Relationships require effort from both people. If one partner constantly feels like they're searching for explanations, while the other continues making decisions that create confusion, the relationship slowly becomes exhausting. I also think accountability is becoming a major problem here. Every relationship has disagreements, and nobody is perfect. People make mistakes. What matters is whether someone is willing to acknowledge those mistakes and genuinely work toward changing them. Without accountability, the same arguments continue happening over and over again. Another thing that stood out was how easily the focus shifted away from the actual issue. Instead of discussing why Josh felt hurt, the conversation seemed to become about defending actions instead of understanding their impact. That's a dangerous cycle because once people start defending everything they do, personal growth becomes much more difficult. I also couldn't ignore how emotionally drained Josh appeared. There comes a point where repeated disappointments begin affecting someone's confidence in the relationship itself. Even if someone truly loves their partner, constantly questioning whether they'll be hurt again eventually takes an emotional toll. Trust isn't something that can survive on promises alone. It's built through consistent actions over time. Every decision either strengthens that trust or weakens it. Right now, it feels like Josh is waiting for consistency while continuing to experience uncertainty instead. Another thing that caught my attention is that relationships should never become constant damage control. Couples should absolutely work through challenges together, but they shouldn't feel like every new situation requires repairing another emotional wound. If every week brings another major conflict, it becomes difficult to enjoy the relationship itself. I also think alcohol can sometimes make existing problems even worse. While drinking doesn't automatically create someone's personality, it can lower inhibitions and make poor decisions even more likely. If certain behaviors continue happening whenever alcohol becomes part of the situation, that's something that deserves serious attention because eventually it starts affecting everyone involved. At the same time, I don't think every explanation automatically excuses hurtful behavior. Regardless of what contributes to someone's actions, the impact on the relationship still exists. Josh still has feelings. Josh still experiences disappointment. Josh still has to decide whether this relationship is giving him the peace and stability he's looking for. One thing I admire about Josh is that he continues trying to make the relationship work. That shows commitment, patience, and hope. But commitment should never mean accepting endless emotional stress without seeing meaningful progress. Healthy relationships require effort from both people, not just one person constantly trying to hold everything together. I also believe Catie has to ask herself an important question. Is she truly ready for the kind of committed relationship Josh wants? Because serious relationships come with responsibility, emotional maturity, and respect for your partner's feelings. If someone's actions repeatedly create doubt, those actions eventually speak louder than any promises. Another thing I noticed is that Ryan's questions may have made the situation uncomfortable, but sometimes uncomfortable conversations are necessary. Difficult questions often reveal issues that people have been avoiding. Ignoring those issues rarely makes them disappear. In most cases, they simply grow larger over time. Throughout this moment on 90 Day Fiancé, I kept wondering how many times Josh can continue rebuilding trust before he reaches his limit. Forgiveness is important, but forgiveness without change often leads to repeated disappointment. Relationships can't survive on second chances forever if the same patterns continue repeating themselves. Communication also plays a huge role here. Honest conversations require complete transparency. If either person starts minimizing problems or avoiding responsibility, genuine communication becomes almost impossible. Without honest communication, trust eventually disappears. Another thing that concerns me is how emotionally exhausting uncertainty can become. Nobody wants to spend their relationship constantly wondering what might happen next. A healthy relationship should provide comfort and security, not constant anxiety about the next disagreement.